Unbelievable. Dara's mother reveals the truth about her daughter's wedding to Jung Il Woo. What could make a mother step forward and spill the details everyone's been dying to know? From whispers behind closed doors to a revelation that's shaken fans worldwide. The truth is finally out. Join Red Carpet Revealed as we uncover every detail, right now. It was the kind of revelation no one saw coming. The sort of confession that makes headlines explode and sends fans scrambling for answers. The source of the news wasn't a gossip column or a blurry paparazzi photo. It came straight from someone who knows Dara better than anyone else in the world, her own mother. In a quiet voice but with words that landed like a thunderclap, she confirmed what the internet had been speculating about for months. Dara was preparing to marry Jung Il Woo. And the story behind it was far more layered than the fairy tale headlines would suggest. The setting for the revelation was far from a glamorous press conference. It happened during a small, intimate charity event that Dara's mother was attending on behalf of a local community group. She had been invited to speak about family values and the importance of staying connected with loved ones despite busy lives. As she spoke warmly about her own family, conversation drifted naturally toward Dara, her achievements, her struggles, her personal happiness. And then, without warning, came the words that would send shockwaves through the entertainment world. "Yes," she said with a gentle smile. "My daughter is preparing for a very special day with Jung Il Woo." It was as if the room had collectively forgotten how to breathe. People glanced at each other, unsure if they had heard correctly. A few guests reached for their phones, ears trembling as they began typing furiously. The charity event, which had been a calm and heartfelt affair, suddenly became the epicenter of the biggest celebrity news story of the year. Within minutes, the statement was on social media. Within hours it had been picked up by every major news outlet in Korea and beyond. For years, fans had speculated about the closeness between Dara and Jung Il Woo. They had been spotted together at industry parties, photographed sharing quiet conversations at awards shows, and occasionally posted photos that hinted they might have been in the same place at the same time. But both stars had consistently kept their relationship status under wraps, offering only vague answers when asked directly. They were just good friends, they insisted, always smiling but never revealing more. That all changed with one sentence from Dara's mother. The tone of her voice, calm, proud, and tinged with joy, left no room for misunderstanding. This wasn't speculation. This wasn't a publicity stunt. This was a mother speaking truthfully about her daughter's life. The reaction from fans was immediate and overwhelming. Hashtags like Dara Wedding, Jung Il Woo, and Dara and Il Woo Forever began trending globally. Fan-made videos compiling every interaction between the two flooded YouTube within hours, each one framed as evidence that the signs had been there all along. Some celebrated the news with unfiltered joy, calling it a long-awaited happy ending for two of their favorite stars. Others were stunned, admitting they had no idea the pair were even romantically involved. But there were also voices of skepticism. Why had the announcement come from Dara's mother rather than Dara herself? Was this an intentional strategy to let the news leak in a more organic, heartfelt way? Or had the revelation been unplanned? A moment of maternal pride slipping past the carefully constructed walls of celebrity privacy? These questions only added fuel to the media firestorm. By the end of the day, both Dara and Jung Il Woo had been contacted for comment. Their agencies issued brief statements, neither confirming nor denying the specific details but thanking fans for their support and asking for understanding. Careful wording did nothing to slow the frenzy. In fact, it seemed to confirm to many that something significant was indeed happening behind the scenes. Close friends of the couple, speaking anonymously to entertainment reporters, described a relationship that had grown slowly and steadily over time. They had first met years ago through mutual acquaintances in the industry but had reconnected during a charity project. They bonded over shared values, one friend said. They're both deeply committed to their work but also to giving back. That's a big part of why they clicked. As the media dissected every word from Dara's mother, the public began revisiting moments from the past that now seemed charged with new meaning. A playful exchange during a variety show appearance. A candy backstage photo where they were laughing together. Jung Il Woo had once referred to Dara as someone very special in an interview. All of it was being reinterpreted under the lens of this revelation. In the days that followed, the story dominated headlines. Television networks ran segments on their respective careers, highlighting their most beloved roles and speculating on what kind of wedding such high-profile stars might have. Fashion experts weighed in on possible bridal looks for Dara, her iconic red carpet gowns and imagining how she might translate her elegant style into a wedding dress. Meanwhile, fans gathered outside Dara's agency building, leaving flowers, cards, and banners with messages of congratulations. Similar scenes played out near Jung Il Woo's management office. The sense of celebration was palpable. Was the curiosity. Everyone wanted to know, when would they officially confirm the wedding date? Where would the ceremony take place? And what had prompted Dara's mother to speak out now? After so many years of discretion? Some insiders speculated that the couple had been quietly planning their wedding for months and that the families had already met to discuss arrangements. Believe the timing might be linked to upcoming projects. Both Dara and Jung Il Woo have major releases scheduled in the next year, and a public announcement could either overshadow or amplify those launches, depending on how it was handled. Whatever the reason, the fact remained, the truth was out. And it had come straight from the heart of the family. In a culture where celebrity relationships are often kept tightly under wraps, this felt like a moment of rare authenticity. It was messy, yes, unplanned, perhaps, but it was real. And that, than anything, is what resonated with people. As the first week of the news cycle came to a close, and Jung Il Woo were spotted together for the first time since the revelation. It was a simple outing, just the two of them leaving a cafe in the late afternoon, but it sent photographers into a frenzy. They walked side by side, holding hands but moving in easy synchrony, occasionally leaning in to speak quietly to one another. Dara wore a casual blazer over jeans, her hair pulled back, while Jung Il Woo opted for a dark jacket and baseball cap. Neither looked particularly surprised by the cameras. If anything, there was a quiet acceptance in their demeanor. They knew this was inevitable now. The photos made the front pages the next morning, accompanied by headlines that ranged from celebratory to speculative. First public sighting since wedding reveal, read one. Are they already planning the big day? Asked another. And while the couple remained publicly silent, their comfortable body language spoke volumes to those who had been following their story. It was clear that whatever lay ahead, and Jung Il Woo were navigating it together. And with a single sentence from a proud mother, their private happiness had become a public phenomenon, one that was only just beginning to unfold. In the days that followed, the whirlwind surrounding Dara and Jung Il Woo's relationship only seemed to grow more intense. Anchors spoke about it as though it were a national event, blending entertainment gossip with the tone of breaking news. In online communities, every single sighting, rumor, and anonymous insider account was dissected and discussed in threads that stretched into the hundreds of comments. What made this revelation so magnetic was the way it had entered the public sphere, not through a calculated joint statement or a glossy magazine spread. Through the heartfelt words of the mother who clearly loved and supported her daughter. There was something undeniably human about it. Something that cut through the usual gloss of celebrity image management. People weren't just curious about the details of the wedding, they were invested in the story because it felt personal. Within a week, the conversation had shifted from the shock of the revelation to speculation about the ceremony itself. Some media outlets claimed to have sources saying the couple planned to marry before the end of the year, in a private yet elegant affair attended only by close friends, family, and a select group of industry peers. Others suggested a more public event, possibly held at a luxury hotel in Seoul known for hosting high-profile celebrity weddings. Wedding planners were interviewed on television to imagine what such an event might look like. For a couple like Dara and Jung Il Woo, one said, expect something that blends timeless elegance with personal touches that reflect their journey together. Given Dara's fashion sense and Il Woo's refined style, I can imagine a ceremony that feels both classic and modern. Fans lapped up every detail, even when it was pure speculation. But there was still one question that refused to fade. Why had Dara's mother chosen to reveal this now? The answer, when it came, was as simple as it was poignant. A follow-up interview with a women's magazine. She explained that she hadn't planned to make any kind of announcement. I was speaking about family, about love. And it just felt right in that moment, she said. I'm proud of my daughter. And I'm happy she's found someone who makes her feel loved and supported. That's all I wanted to share. The sincerity of her words resonated deeply with the public. It reframed the story from one of a media leak to a moment of genuine pride from a mother's heart. Even those who had initially criticized the timing softened their stance, acknowledging that sometimes joy simply can't be contained. Meanwhile, Dara and Jung Il Woo continued to move with quiet grace through the chaos. They made no attempt to hide. But they also didn't seek out the spotlight. They attended a film premiere together, not as an official couple, but as guests supporting a mutual friend. The cameras once again erupted. Their interactions were understated, a shared laugh during a speech, a hand lightly placed at her back as they moved through the crowd. Yet these small gestures were amplified 1,000-fold by the context of the past weeks. In one particularly telling moment, caught by a fan's phone camera, Dara leaned in to whisper something to Il Woo during the premiere. Whatever she said made him smile in that rare, unguarded way that fans adore, his eyes crinkling, his whole face lighting up. That clip alone racked up millions of views in just a few hours, shared with captions like "This is what love looks like" and "Protect them at all costs." As the frenzy grew, so did the outpouring of support from fellow celebrities, former co-stars, musicians, variety show hosts who had worked with Dara or Il Woo began posting congratulatory messages on their own social media accounts. Some shared old photos. Others offered warm wishes in interviews. "They're both wonderful people," one actress remarked on a talk show. "It makes me so happy to know they've found each other." The global reach of the story became even clearer when international fanbases began organizing their own celebrations. In the Philippines, Dara's longtime fans held a gathering where they screened her past dramas alongside Jung Il Woo's, treating the event like a pre-wedding party. In Japan, fan clubs collaborated to send floral arrangements to both stars' agencies. Hashtags celebrating the couple trended in multiple languages, turning their engagement into a worldwide event. For all the joy, there was still an undercurrent of protectiveness from those closest to the couple. Friends and family reportedly closed ranks to ensure that the wedding planning remained private. Venues were being scouted under pseudonyms, and even suppliers were asked to sign non-disclosure agreements. "They want this to be theirs," one insider explained. "The world can know it's happening. Details belong to them." That protective instinct only deepened when tabloids began publishing unverified claims about the couple's past relationships and supposed marriage conditions. Dara's fans were quick to defend her comment sections with calls for respect and privacy. Jung Il Woo's supporters did the same, reminding critics that the only facts worth focusing on were the ones the couple chose to share. Despite the noise, preparations for the big day appeared to be moving forward. Rumors surfaced of a gown designer meeting Dara at a secluded boutique, and photographers claimed to have spotted Il Woo visiting a high-end jeweler in Gangnam. While none of this was officially confirmed, the imagery was enough to keep fans' imaginations running wild. When Dara finally addressed the topic publicly for the first time, it was during a fan meeting. The event was supposed to be a celebration of her latest project, but inevitably, someone asked about the wedding. Laughed softly, the sound warm and unhurried, before saying, "I think my mom already said more than I was ready to tell you this. I'm happy. Really happy. And I'm grateful for all of you who are happy for me, too." It was the perfect balance of openness and privacy, giving fans the reassurance they craved without surrendering the sanctity of her personal life. The room erupted in applause. Many attendees later said they could feel how genuine her words were. By now, the narrative had shifted entirely. Began as a shock revelation had transformed into a love story the public felt privileged to witness. The focus was less on the gossip and more on the anticipation of a day that promised to be a beautiful milestone in both their lives. Magazines began preparing retrospective features on Dara and Jung Il Woo's careers, framing the wedding as a celebration of two beloved figures whose paths had finally converged in a way that felt inevitable. And so, as the months ticked down toward the rumored wedding date, the air was thick with expectation. The public might not know every detail, where the ceremony would take place, what the guest list looked like, what Dara's gown would be, but they knew enough. They knew that two people they admired had found happiness in each other, and that was enough to keep the story alive in their hearts. In the end, the truth revealed by Dara's mother had done more than just confirm a romance. It had reminded people that even in the world of celebrities, where every move is scrutinized and every statement dissected, there is still room for moments of pure, unfiltered humanity. A proud mother speaking from the heart had cut through the noise, and in doing so, she had given the world a glimpse of something rare and precious. And somewhere, behind closed doors, Dara and Jung Il Woo were quietly building their future together. The cameras might catch glimpses. The headlines might speculate. The truest parts of their story would remain theirs alone, until the day they chose to share them, hand in hand, with the world. Thank you for joining us on this emotional and unforgettable journey into Dara and Jung Il Woo's beautiful love story. If you enjoyed uncovering the heartfelt truths and precious moments behind this couple's path to the altar, don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you won't miss our next exclusive celebrity deep dive. We'd love to hear your thoughts, share your opinions, well wishes, or even your own favorite Dara and Jung Il Woo memories in the comments section below. And of course, give this video a thumbs up if you felt the love just as much as we did. Until next time, this is Red Carpet Revealed. Signing off, see you in the next story.